It's been a while since I've done a tier list of an artist that I love or an anime that I wish to talk about, the last of which was a Demon Slayer tier list that I did not too long ago. And today I want to do a Tyler the Creator tier list, tearing out every one of his major projects from S tier to F tier. And yeah, I'm doing this because right now it's been announced as of me recording this video that a new album Tyler the Creator, Don't Touch the Glass, is going to be dropping on July 21st on the freaking Monday of all things. And it looks like we're transitioning from Chromacopia to this new era of Tyler the Creator once again. And the fact that he's dropping it now like within 1 year time span is pretty crazy to say the least. And I'm not joking when I say this, but I am a pretty big Tyler the Creator fan where I listen to every one of his projects. That I even have these. These are like the one of the rarest vinyls you can get. I got the Igor vinyl, which is like one of the rarest collectibles you can get, and I have the most recent album from him, the Chromacopia vinyl, which you can't get anywhere else nowadays. So, without further ado, let's get into the tier list. So, yep, as you know, same format as always when it comes to doing the tier list as always. And here we go. Starting off with Tyler's first ever project, his first mixtape that really got him blown up, 2009's Bastard. This mixtape is one of the most interesting and really the most weirdest album from him that has aged really weirdly in a way. Because Bastard, when it came out back in 2009, this was an album that was like super controversial at the time. This was obviously the mixtape that really got him on the map thanks to the likes of Kanye West discovering him in the first place. And Bastard was essentially a concept mixtape of such that for me is one of Tyler's most like breakout, most standout projects ever. Like if you go back to the Bastard, Goblins, and Wolf era to a degree, this mixtape stands out as like at the time Tyler's best and most highest potential project ever. And I will say that yes, Bastard and going to the next project Goblin, a lot of the subject matter that is on these projects have not aged all too well. Again, I wouldn't be bumping to songs like Pigs Fly and Blow and Ass Milk featuring Earl Sweatshirt every now and then. But you have to admit that when you listen to the mixtape, the ideas, the rhyme schemes, the ever so direction that Tyler was trying to go into on this Bastard mixtape was really a showcase of what's to come. And like I said, for many Tyler the Creator fans that grew up during the Bastard, Goblin, and Wolf era, no one would expect how Tyler would become and mature with his recent projects as of late. So again, Bastard is a really great mixtape that I would highly recommend still to this day for anyone that wants to go deep into the Tyler the Creator canon. But if you're too sensitive with the lyrics and the subject matter that comes at hand with Bastard, it's understandable. Again, some standout tracks off of here right off the bat would be Bastard, Inglorious, VCR slash Wheels, which is the infamous 10th track, two track parters that's pretty synonymous with Tyler the Creator, at least up until the recent album Chromacopia. Um, and some really fun songs, which again, while they haven't aged out a little, like Tina featuring Jasper and Taco, I think they were really good for its time. But yeah, Bastard, really good mixtape. I think that for its time though, I would probably, and given like the big discography of things, I would probably give Bastard a C tier. I give it a C tier. It's a really good mixtape that I tend to go back to every now and then, just go back to some old Tyler, and I'll leave it at that. Next, we have 2011's Goblin. Now, Goblin is an album that I think, as I mentioned with Bastard, is an album that's aged in such a weird and interesting way because Goblin has ideas and thoughts from Bastard that carry over to Goblin, but it's a much more darker, much more edgier, much more controversial album when this came out because this was Tyler's official debut album when it came out in 2011. And this was around the time when Off Feature was also still a big collective. So you are going to get a lot of Off Feature features throughout this, within this project, I would say. Again, songs like She, Yonkers still goes really hard to this day. Sandwiches featuring Haji Beats also goes pretty hard. Um, the AU 79 Golden track and the Golden song, which is like the close to Goblin, is also really good. And I think that's where I will leave my compliments here because once again, just like Bastard, Goblin has aged unfortunately in a really poor manner where a lot of tracks that you will listen on Goblin has aged pretty poorly and it feels like it's stuck in 2011. Like it hasn't really like progressively gotten better as the years draw on. Because while Bastard is a mixtape that you can actually appreciate in the grander scheme of things, Goblin is one that I feel like is kind of lost in memory, to say the least. Again, there are tracks over here that I could pull left and right that I would like to listen to every now and then. But overall, as that whole album experience, it's kind of hard to sit through this album now every now and then because of the subject matter at hand and how mature and how expansive Tyler's projects have become now. So originally, I'll say this too. If I was in 2011 and I listened and Goblin came out, I would have probably given this like a solid B tier, maybe even an A tier at the time. But because we're not in 2011, we're in 2025, I'm gonna have to be pretty critical on this one. I think Goblin, for its shortcomings, I would have to give this album an E tier. Again, it's a great project, don't get me wrong, but I just think that the album has aged pretty poorly. And even Tyler himself has come out and acknowledged how much Goblin has aged really badly over the years, which makes a lot of sense. And I think it also carries over to the next album here, Wolf. Now, Wolf is a project that I have touted for many years as a Tyler fan as his best project ever, his most memorable project. Wolf was really in a nutshell Tyler's first attempt of making a really good project, a really serious project. And I think he did so really well. I mean, it's a Wolf to me is like a huge 90-day difference from Bastard and Goblin in every way, shape, and form. And where do you begin with the songs on this thing? For starters, we have possibly the best 10-track album of Tyler creative stuff with Parties and Over, Campfire to Beamer, which is like probably one of the best 10-track type out songs to come out of any Tyler project. You have Answer, you have Awkward, you even have Slater, 48, Parking Lot featuring Casey Veggies and Mike G, even Rusty is a standout track off of there as well. And even fun songs like Tamale and Lone also stand out really, really well off of this project. And again, while Wolf still is stuck in that era of like of Goblin and Bastard, where it's like it's not taking himself too seriously, he's just doing this for fun. I think that Wolf was really the first project from Tyler that really showed his serious chops as an artist, and like, hey, he really did put effort this time around. The production's a lot more nicer around. The lyrics aren't while they're still hard, still a little, and still lean towards the controversial side of things, it's still like pushing to a more softer, gentle side in a way. And overall, I think that Wolf has aged pretty well. I think that this is still a must listen to project, in my opinion. Like, if you can't sit through Goblin, if you can't sit through Bastard, I think Wolf is a project that you gotta at least watch or, sorry, listen to every now and then because this has a lot of really good highlights and ideas that would carry over into Tyler's more recent projects. And I have nothing but respect for this project to this day. So call me a little biased here with this, but I think Wolf is one of the more standout projects in his discography, and because of that, looking at like the grander scheme of things, I have to put this in the B tier. It's a great album. I think at the time I would have given it a solid S or A tier, but looking at like the grander scheme of all of Tyler's projects now, we have to think of it at the grander scheme of like what I would like tear it up between one another. All right, next 2015's Cherry Bomb. Whew. This one is a pretty big controversial one because when this thing came out, it was received pretty badly. It was a mixed reception. Obviously, here we have four different album covers, so that's why I put all four of these different album covers into one because who knows? Some of you Tyler fans may have these covers. But moving on from the album covers aside, um, this is by Cherry Bomb is considered to be by many as Tyler's weakest project ever As Tyler even stated off of Call Me If You Get Lost, this was the album that caused him to be a little bit shifty, that caused his transition into being the artist that he is today. This was like a transitional period for Tyler because, again, I think the fact that Tyler has now come and grown to acknowledge that Cherry Bomb isn't his best project ever, that there are some weak points off of it, I think that it makes a lot of valid sense. And I agree. I mean, Cherry Bomb isn't like a great project. I don't think it's his worst though. But this was important because if Cherry Bomb never occurred in the first place, we wouldn't have gone like a streak of really great albums past this point. But that doesn't mean that Cherry Bomb is a bad album. There are still highlights off of this album, from songs like "Find Your Wings" to songs like "Buffalo" and "Death Camp," which were like kind of going to that rock hard oriented or direction. Also love to see there. Smuckers featuring Lil Wayne and Kanye West was also, at least at the time, like it was literally heaven. Keep the O's, Okaka CA, which was like a really good closer of the instrumental. And then another shout out on Cherry Bomb is the track called Yellow, which you won't be able to listen to on any streaming platforms, but if you got the physical copies, Yellow is a really good hidden song that features Kali Uchis, who prior to it was really good, really up and coming at the time. And that's where my confidence of the songs off of Cherry Bomb would end because, again, there are songs over here that are super hard to sit through, to listen through. Again, sadly, on the 10th track with Fucking Young slash Perfect, I think the Perfect half is a lot stronger than the first half of Fucking Young since the lyrics are, again, a little bit questionable to say the least. And how can we forget Cherry Bomb? Cherry Bomb being that I can listen to Cherry Bomb still, but like it is a song that like if you listen to this like with no context whatsoever, you're gonna immediately skip Cherry Bomb because of like how unloaded this song delivers you. But again, overall, I think Cherry Bomb, while this is a flawed project to say the least, this was an important project for Tyler. And I have nothing more than appreciation for this project as now in the grander scheme of where Tyler's recent projects have gone into. So I think I can comfortably say that while I know some of you would probably put this like much lower now, I wouldn't put it as low as I thought it would be. I would put Cherry Bomb alone in the D column. I think that is rightfully deserving of the D placement. Between this and Goblin, I would rather listen to Cherry Bomb over Goblin, in my opinion. Not every, not every song off of Cherry Bomb and Goblin, respectfully, but certain songs. And now leave it at that. Next, we have 2017's Flower Boy. This was the moment that Tyler's creativity, the commerciality of his songs, everything about him was starting to come to full fruition. And Flower Boy was a huge step in the right direction. Sorry. To kind of put it in a nutshell, Flower Boy felt like this was the switch from Cherry Bomb to Flower Boy. And it's like it's crazy. It feels like this was the true successor to Wolf at the time. And to me, this was Tyler's best project to come out at the time period because again, every song on this album slaps so goddamn well. Every song flows into the next song cohesively. It's super sweet. It's into your ears. This album has also become like a certified summer album playlist that now, if you were to ask me like what is a Tyler the Creator project that I should listen to over the summer, Flower Boy is the album that you gotta go to listen to over the summer. Again, from an amazing intro to songs like Where the Flower Blooms, See You Again, Who Dat Boy, Boredom, Garden Shed, I Ain't Got Time, 911 Mr. Lonely, Dropping Seeds, November. Again, every song off of this project is fire fucking works. And this is a project that has aged so goddamn well, so beautifully. This album's gonna turn 10 years old pretty soon, by the way. We're 2 years away from it being 10 years old, and Flower Boy is aging so goddamn well. This was undoubtedly Tyler's strongest project yet. And for me, this is a project that I always go back to. every now and then to like listen to a new Tyler project. And keep in mind, I've been listening to Tyler for a really long time. I've been listening to him since the Wolf era, to be exact. And Flower Boy, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. I think Flower Boy is, in my view, I'm gonna put this at an S tier. This is still one of my favorite projects from him to this day. I can't see myself putting it in A tier. It's just that good. Next, we have Igor. This was coming out in 2019. This was a huge step in a different direction for Tyler because this was his most creative and most thought provoking project ever with a really amazing theme simply about breakup. And this album is full of bangers. It's filled with emotional highs, emotional lows. This is an album that's like, if you're going through a breakup right now, this is the album you have to 100% listen to. From Igor's Theme to Earthquake to I Think to A Boy's a Gun to Gone Gone Thank You to I Don't Love You Anymore to Are We Still Friends. There are songs off of this album that are just so goddamn ingrained in the Tyler the Creator canon at this point that Igor is undoubtedly and unequivocally Tyler's best project ever. And it's funny because at the time when this came out, I remember that a lot of people didn't like this sound, didn't think that this was Tyler's best project. They thought that, oh, he's not rapping anymore, he's going to this direction, this isn't really good. But honestly, now fast forward to where Tyler's at now, and a lot of people have completely switched up big time and love Igor for what it is, and songs that are still being played on his shows to this day. Even a song off here, which again you can't find in the physical cut, you can actually look at it on his YouTube channel. But a song called "Boyfriend," which was the fourth track off of the Igor album. This album is without a doubt a really great experience and probably an album worthy experience that, like, if you really truly want to know what Tyler's truly capable of, this was him at his absolute best. So yeah, undoubtedly, make no mistake, Igor, easy S tier. It's a great project. Both Flowerboy and Igor is hard because I can't choose between these two at the moment, as both of them are just S tier projects to me that I absolutely love and adore, and still love to this day. But nope. Next, we have 2021's Tyler, the Creator's Call Me If You Get Lost. This one was essentially Tyler saying that, okay, you don't, now that you saw two sides of me, I'm going to go back to my rap roots and showcase what I've learned in a much more mature style. And Tyler crushed it on his own, man. I think Call Me If You Get Lost is a really good project to come out not that long ago, mind you. This album to me is taking everything from the Wolf era, the Bastard, and the Goblin era, and taking what he learned from his last two projects all into this one. That's what it felt like. And this album is like really Tyler just flexing, just showing off and showcasing that, doing like victory laps more or less. And Call Me If You Get Lost has gotta be one of his best projects out there, one of his best rap projects out there that can rival that of Wolf and Flower Boy to an extent. From What's Your Name to Lumberjack to Hot Wind Blows to Run It Up to Manifesto to the 10-minute, 10 track epic with Sweet slash I Thought You Wanted to Dance to Juggernaut and Wilshire and Safari. I mean, there are songs off here that are just really good, that are just like, holy shit, Tyler's going ballistic, Tyler is going crazy, and Tyler is like kicking ass, taking names, and showing what it has to offer. This, along with the estate sale version of Call Me Get Lost, is also like a highlight in the Tyler canon. And while it's probably not an album that I've been like bumping to so much compared to Flower Boy and Igor, this is an album that personally is really close to getting there to like a good S tier with a few more years under its belt. But yeah, Call Me Get Lost, still a great project. I would have to 100% put this in the A tier. It is a easy A tier for me. All right, and finally we move on to his most recent project that came out not too long ago, literally just last year, of Chromacopia. Now, this album, when this came out, I was, me and many Tyler the Creator fans, myself, are shocked to this day that this was a project that really took Tyler in a much more different, more serious direction, more vulnerable direction, mind you. And I felt that Tyler Again, the memes about this album is really true. This is basically Tyler the Creator's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers moment, and I couldn't agree less. This is without a doubt Tyler's most riskiest project ever, because not only has he broke the cycle of releasing an album every 2 years that he's really used to giving his fans to, but this is an album riddled with many risk taking, risky moments and vulnerable moments that for me are like highlights to this day. And again, I know that this album is only been out for like 8 months now, but like this is still a must listen to project if you are huge in the Tyler Career canon. From Saint Chroma being like the great starter to the album, to Ratata, Noid, Sticky, Tomorrow, the 10th track, which broke the cycle of the epic long two-parter track that was Tyler's Stick and Butter, to Thought I Was Dead, which again there are two versions of Thought I Was Dead, with one version being Schoolboy Q and the other one featuring Playboy Cardi. Between both of them, I like both versions respectfully, but if I had to choose one, I actually like the Schoolboy Q one more, in my opinion. Um, Even the closer with "I Hope You Find Your Way Home" and "Hey Jane" was also a really interesting and really thought provoking song when I first listened to it. So again, while this is one of those projects that I unfortunately won't be listening to because of the fact that you just gotta really get into like the subject matter and such, there are still songs off here that feel like from the Call Me If You Get Lost era, still kind of sprinkled into Chromacopia, which is good. But simultaneously, I am getting like hints of like Igor esque to a degree with its vulnerability and its subject matter. And again, as of right now, I think Chromacopia is Tyler's most mature project since Igor came out, since Flower Boy came out. And he really took a risk here, and I think it really did pay off, in my opinion. So, undoubtedly, at the moment, Chromacopia, I would probably give this bad boy a solid B tier. Really great project. I don't think it's not going to be like up there with Call Me to Get Lost and the other two projects I put up, but I think with time and with some marinating into my head, I think Chromacopia might go up there as like my favorite Tyler the Creator projects out there. But yeah, right here, seep it, weep it. This is the end of the video. If you made it this far, this is my tier list of every Tyler the Creator project. And yeah, just want to talk about it because we have a new album on the way as of me recording this video. And I'll see you all in the next one. Later.